What is up, my sweet and spicy people? Today we are back with another tier list. This one, pretty drastically different from the last one, except for the fact that it is still a tier list. Last time we did MCU movies. If you haven't checked that out, do me a favor, go ahead and check that out. But if you have, we're actually going to be doing Dragon Ball tier list, Dragon Ball Saga tier list, I guess. Or a tier list of every arc in Dragon Ball. I found the words. I got there. So that's what we'll be doing today. As you can see, we start from OG Dragon Ball and we go all the way towards the last arc in the Super manga. Thankfully, I have read/watched all of these. So I know all of these pretty well. I've watched most of them multiple times, save for some of the later Super arcs and the GT arcs. But we'll remember as best we can what happened there. Without further ado, let's go ahead and hop in, y'all. So to start with, we got the Pilaf arc right here. For those of you who don't know, Emperor Pilaf, as he was called in the OG Dragon Ball, was the first main villain for Goku. And this was back when Dragon Ball was much more of a gag manga, I believe. The entire arc lasted, it was super short. I want to say it lasted something like 13-ish no, 13 chapters sounds way too short. 30-ish chapters, maybe 15. It was really short, guys. And at the end, the one who saves everyone is Oolong, because Oolong steals the... So Pilaf is one of the only villain, if I'm looking at this correctly, the only villain besides maybe exactly Frieza's minions who manages to gather all the Dragon Balls, right? I also realized we don't have our music playing. Let's get that shit going. I found some really nice lo-fi Dragon Ball songs that I kind of want to let y'all listen to while I'm talking. There it is. But yeah, so Pilaf is the only one of any of the villains who actually succeeds in finding the Dragon Balls and attempting to make a wish. This is where Oolong comes in, and instead of letting Pilaf get his wish of, I think, world domination, Oolong wishes for panties. So that's what Oolong gets, but in doing so, he cucks Emperor Pilaf out of his opportunity of getting a wish. And then Pilaf freaks out when Goku transforms into a giant monkey and starts hurting everybody. Which that ends with, I think, Puar cutting off Goku's tail. And that's how we learn that if Saiyans lose the tail, even if they're already a giant monkey, they go back down to regular sized human, which, thank God that's how that works, right? Imagine if it didn't. I think the story probably would have ended right there. But yeah, Pilaf, starting arc, I don't think it's bad per se, but comparing it to every other arc that is on here, it is arguably the worst arc we have. It's probably the worst arc we have, save for maybe like one arc I can think of from GT. Which, if y'all don't know, I kind of like GT. I think GT. Well, we'll get to it. We'll get to it when we get to GT. Actually, let's continue. Now, the first Budokai Tenkaichi tournament, y'all. The first World's Martial Arts tournament. This arc was hype, bro. This is where we meet Krillin, right? This is where Krillin and Goku are first trained by Master Roshi, who, while admittedly being an incredibly problematic pervert, and that's also part of the reason why the Pilaf arc is down below, because he does some really problematic things in that arc. R.I.P. Bulma, you're still alive, but it was fucked up. It was real fucked up when he asked of an underage girl. Really shady shit. But Master Roshi here takes on a much more mentor role. He has way less problematic scenes, and you can really see like the relationship he's building with his students, right? One thing that he espouses during this training is eat well, work well, train well, sleep well, rest well, which I think maybe those two are the same. But he basically do everything you're going to do in life at like 150% is basically what he espouses, right? And that is, I think that's just solid advice for anyone who wants to accomplish anything, right? Whatever you're doing, whatever you want to work on, just work harder than you've worked at anything before when you do it, and it'll probably succeed with enough effort and time and a little bit of luck. And then, of course, that training kind of culminates in the actual world tournament, where we see characters like Nam, I believe, is there, which, you know, he looks kind of Arabian, so we gotta love him, right? Yamcha's there. Yamcha gets washed pretty quickly, if memory serves. I think maybe by Jackie Chun. And Jackie Chun is actually Master Roshi in disguise. And the reason Master Roshi uses this disguise, right, is because he doesn't want his students to win the whole thing. Because if they win, he believes they'll become arrogant, right? They'll be like, oh, I'm already the best. I have nothing to prove now. And he doesn't want them to get lazy. He doesn't want them to get arrogant. And I think low-key could probably use the prize money. He's a hermit living on an island by himself, right? I figure he'd probably want the money as well. But yeah, so this whole thing kind of just culminates between Goku and Krillin fighting a bunch of dudes. Until I think... Is this where Goku and Krillin fight? I think so. I think semifinals is Yamcha versus Jackie Chun, which crazy that Yamcha was once like a hard hitter in Dragon Ball, right? It blows my mind every time I think about it. And then in the other semifinal bracket, it's Krillin and Goku. Goku beats Krillin, not handedly, because the fight itself is actually very good. But Goku does inevitably win, and Master Roshi kicks Yamcha's ass like it's nothing. And then we get the Jackie Chun versus Goku fight. Y'all, this fight is insane. It is so hype, bro. So, things that happen during this fight. Goku, I think, uses his tail as like a little helicopter thing. Or not, was it his tail? I think it was. I think his tail actually, yes, he uses his tail as a little helicopter as he's getting like flown out of bounds, like fly back in the bounds of the ring. And the judges allow Goku to stay in the tournament, but they say he can't do that shit anymore because that's cheating, and that's not okay. And then there's like there's an exchange of like so many different techniques, right? I think that's the best part about OG Dragon Ball, is it's less about the and then my hair is now glowing and I am like 50 million times stronger. And it's so much more about like the different, albeit kind of insane, martial prowess of the people, right? Like, I know Jackie Chun uses like a paralyzing technique on Goku. They both use like a variety of different Kamehamehas on each other, right? And I know Goku at one point begins to transform into the Ozaru, his giant ape form, and Master Roshi, Jackie Chun, is like, what the fuck? Why the fuck is he doing this? I didn't know he could do this. And then Bulma's like yelling at him like, oh, it's when he looks at the moon, he goes crazy. And Jackie Chun's like, I know what I must do. And he goes into like his super buff form, which that's the first time we ever see Master Roshi's like buff muscular form. And then he charges what is at that point the largest Kamehameha anybody has seen on screen. And everyone's freaking out. They're like, no, don't kill Goku. You can't do it. It's not okay. But instead of killing his beloved pupil, which would be an insane thing to do, albeit it would be something he might do to save the world, he does the smart thing and blows up the moon, which is insane because one, that means that Kamehameha traveled like thousands upon thousands of miles to get to the moon, right? I actually don't know how far the moon is from Earth, so it might be only hundreds of miles. But I'm going to pretend like it's thousands of miles, because he launched that shit into space, and it hit its target, and then the target exploded. Does that not at least put Roshi at like somewhat Planet Buster level? I don't know. All I know is this Master Roshi is batshit insane in this arc. And then he and Goku begin like fighting a little bit again after Goku gets some clothes back, because whenever he goes giant ape and then shrinks back down, he gets naked because his clothes explode off of him when he turns from the monkey, which makes sense. Then they start exchanging blows again, and then at one point they both knock each other out. And then the like 10 count happens, right, to see, and they are both eliminated, but since it's the finals, they can't have a loser here, right? So then the referee goes, all right, the first one to stand up and declare their victory wins, which is insane, right? And then you see Goku like struggling to get up, and he's like, I'm the and then he falls face forward unconscious. And then Jackie Chun gets up and he coughs up barely, I'm the champion. And then when he hears himself say it, he begins like going, I'm the champion, like It is insane. So Master Roshi wins the tournament. Due to, I shit you guys not, the fact that he is taller than Goku. Because that final blow that happened, Jackie Chun's foot managed to dig more deeply into Goku's face by virtue of him having longer legs and overall larger body, making it so that Goku, while still making contact with Master Roshi, wasn't able to land as firm a hit on him. This is peak. This is peak. I don't care if y'all disagree, this is one of the best arcs in all of Dragon Ball. This shit is fucking hype. Oh my god. I think I talked for like 8 minutes about how good that arc was. That was, oh my god. I love OG Dragon Ball so much. Probably because I literally grew up with it, but oh man, dude, is it good. Oh, fuck. Oh. I got so into that, my back started hurting. That's crazy. Alright, next arc. This is the Red Ribbon Army arc. This arc is pretty cool. We meet a lot of interesting characters. We meet General Blue. We meet Ader, the original android. I'm sure a lot of you don't know this. Android 19/20 were not the first androids. Even like Super Android 13 or Android 13, 14, and 15, who are canonically the earliest number androids, I guess not canonically, but the earliest number androids any of you Just Z fans have probably seen, they were not the first. The first android we ever saw on screen was android number 8, given the nickname Ader by Goku after they become friends, because Ader doesn't like hurting people, bro. I mean, oh man, Ader's great. Ader's great. The Penguin Village arc is great. The whole like General Blue stuff is pretty cool. He chases Goku and them into like an underwater cave where there's a treasure and be another Dragon Ball, right? The Red Ribbon Army is after the Dragon Balls. General Red, who is like the leader of the Red Ribbon Army, excuse me. Everyone thought his wish was like world domination. This motherfucker wanted to be taller. That was his wish. That wish Frieza wanted to collect the Dragon Balls for in Super Broly. That's the same fucking wish General Red was looking at. And that's bananas to me, but he gets shot by his second in command after he hears that dumbass wish. He's like, well, we can't have a fucking moron as a leader. That don't make any sense. But yeah, General Blue has like a final showdown with Goku at the village where the manga Dr. Slump takes place. Dr. Slump, for those of you who don't know, is Toriyama's like initial work, his first work, right? The first ever manga I think he solo got published, right? And it's funny, it's cute. I don't hate it. Arale from Super, if any of y'all have seen Super, which if you haven't, why are you watching this video? Go watch Dragon Ball Super. But Arale, who features in one episode of Dragon Ball Super, is actually an android that was built by the main doctor in Dr. Slump. So Arale actually has her own fucking manga. And then she gets a little cameo here, along with all the other characters from Dr. Slump, which is really cool. But General Blue shows up, he's like threatening the village, and then Goku's like, hey, y'all stay here, I'm gonna go handle this. And then he fucking handles it, he kicks his ass. Overall, this arc is good. There's a lot of really cool moments. The writing is decent. I just don't think it, after watching the Budokai Tenkaichi arc, it doesn't hold a candle to it. You know what I mean? Like, this arc it's fine, I guess. And then when you compare it to like all the other arcs that are here, it kind of goes from a little bit fine to sort of mid. The coolest part of the arc, Goku does solo a literal fucking army in the Red Ribbon Army, which is tight as hell. But cool moments does not a great arc make, you know what I mean? It helps, but not just cool moments. So I think for that I'm gonna throw it in the mid. This is shaping up about how I thought it would. Next, this is the Baba arc. So Goku, on his quest to get the Dragon Balls, is stuck looking for the 4-star balls, right? He wants the 4-star ball because the 4-star ball is the ball his grandpa gifted him before his grandpa died. So it has like extreme sentimental value to Goku, which is why you can see Gohan, his kid, not his grandpa, wearing it in like the first arc of Z, right? On his little Chinese prince hat. It's because Goku has a great sentimental attachment to that ball. And after he had his son, he wanted to give his son the same thing that his grandpa gave him. So, you know, it's just very cyclical, very, very cool storytelling. I do like that, but that's neither here nor there. This arc it's decent. They have like a mini tournament with like, I think the team. Oh no! You know what? It's not because he wants the 4-star ball. He's looking for the last Dragon Ball because in the Red Ribbon arc, he made a friend whose dad was murdered by General Tao because they wanted to kill Goku and take his Dragon Balls. I forgot about that. General Tao's introduction was pretty cool. But yeah, so they come to Fortune Teller Bomber to be like, hey, we need to find the last Dragon Ball because they couldn't find it on the Dragon Radar, right? And she's like, okay, well, y'all can have a wish if y'all beat these fighters that I've hired. And they're all like, I bet, let's run it. And Krillin fights against an invisible zombie, and he gets beaten. I think Krillin goes first, maybe it was Yamcha, it was one of those two. The second one goes, they throw pain on the zombie, they find him, they beat him up, and that kind of works, so that's cool. Then they fight a guy called Devilman over a thing of lava, I'm pretty sure. But whoever was second loses, so then Goku goes up, and then Goku like solos this fucking Joker. But then the last fighter Baba has, he's like, oh, I would actually just like to fight in the outside ring. I don't want to kill any of these guys. I just want to generally fight him, see how good he is, right? And then Goku starts fighting this guy, and this guy has like he knows Goku's every move. It looks like, right? And oh man, I'm getting weirdly emotional about this. And then as they're like fighting and they're going along, oh, I'm about to cry. Oh my god. Oh fuck. Give me a moment. But yeah. So as they begin to fight, Goku's getting red, right? And Master Roshi's like, I see, I know what's going on. So Master Roshi evidently knows who this fucker is, but Goku has no idea, right? And the homeboy's wearing a mask, so there's no way to tell who he fucking is. Until Goku inevitably ends up cracking that mask and the mask falls off. And then he realizes the guy he's been fighting this whole time is Grandpa Gohan. Bro, his dead grandpa was fighting him. And this was like the craziest reveal to me as a kid, right? And I think I did actually start crying when I was a child. As I almost did just now, but I didn't. But yeah, it's a very sweet and emotional reunion. And they continue their fight. And at the end of the fight, like, Goku gives Grandpa a big hug. His Grandpa's like, dude, I'm so proud of you. And Gohan's like, Goku's really happy. And he's like, Grandpa, I'm so sorry I killed you. Grandma Gohan's like, dude, no worries, dog. It's not a big deal. I actually don't remember if that happens. I think maybe that's just something my memory made up. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if they actually had that conversation. But it was a very sweet and a very touching reunion between those two. And that's fucking great. We love that, right? Besides exactly that, there's not a whole lot in this arc that I can really dissect or talk about. Like, it's cool, I guess. It's fine. But again, cool moments does not a great arc make. So as much as I love those like series of, I think, 2 episodes with Grandpa Gohan, this arc still only gets a solid. It's fine. It's cool. The next arc, oh man. Alright, so this next arc is the introduction of Tien Shinhan and Chaozu, who, many of you may not know this, were actually introduced as villains, right? Well, not villains per se, but antagonists to Goku, right? And the reason they come and enter this world tournament is because they're a part of the Crane School, which is the rival school to Master Roshi. And the Crane Hermit, I forget his actual name, and I don't really think it matters, is actually the older brother of General Tao. So he's enrolled his students here to make sure they kill Goku. Which killing is not allowed in the world tournament, but he doesn't fucking care. He wants revenge on Goku. So he's like, alright, Tien, need you to find this motherfucker, need you to kick his ass, need you to fucking kill him. Run him into the ground and murder his ass dead, brother. And Tien's like, sir, yes, sir. So as they begin, like, going through the bracket of the world tournament, I know Yamcha squares up against Tien, he loses. I know Chaozu squares up against Krillin, and I believe Chaozu loses. Doesn't really matter, because whichever one of them two wins goes on to fight Tien and then loses that too. Goku's clearing through, like, his bracket. The fights are interesting and good. I'm gonna skip over all of them except the finals. Except for 2 fights, excuse me. The finals and then the semi-finals. So semi-finals actually features Jackie Chun, who is back once again, right? Because I think he still wants to make sure his students are humble. He doesn't want them to ever get lazy. He doesn't want them to ever win a tournament and be like, I'm the best there is at what I do. Shout out to Wolverine. But yeah. So, but in the semifinals, it's Jackie Chun versus Tien Shinhan. And this whole time, Master Roshi has been like kind of eyeing Tien and Chaozu and trying to figure out what their fucking deal is, because he doesn't really like the Crane School, because the Crane School is like, they're all about making money and killing people, right? And he's not. Master Roshi ain't really about that life. And then during their match, he's like talking to Tien, and as he's fighting him, it kind of dawns on him that Tien might not be a super bad guy, but more importantly, maybe less importantly, you have to ask him, I don't know. He's like, this guy is really good at fighting, like really, really good. And then he thinks to himself, well, if this guy is in the finals fighting Goku, because Goku probably is going to make it to the finals because he's goated. If he's the one who's fighting Goku, I think it's okay if I'm not around anymore to, not like he's going to kill himself, but he's like, I think it's okay if I'm not around to fight him, because I don't need to anymore. This guy would be a great challenge for Goku, and he deserves to fight him. So then Jackie Chun, without really giving a whole bunch of effort, just jumps out of the ring. And he's DQ'd because he steps out of bounds, right? And then Tien's like, what the fuck? Get back in here and fight me. And he's like, I can't do that. It's against the rules. Sorry, bucko. And then Goku obviously wins his fight. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember really any of Goku's fights. I only remember Tien's fights, because this arc, weirdly enough, doesn't really follow Goku's story, but it follows Tien's. And his story kind of, not climaxes, but begins to climax at the end of the semifinal, at the end of the day of the semifinals, when he's walking kind of alone back to where he's staying. He's confronted by Master Roshi, right? And Master Roshi's like, listen, dude, I know you're a member of the Crane School, but I don't think you're a killer, right? I think maybe a part of you wants to be, and I think you'd like to think of yourself as such, but I don't think you are. I don't think you're a killer, and I think you're actually much kinder than you believe you even are. Stop. I think, not his exact words, but he says something along the lines of like, your time in the shadows is done. Start walking the path of light, or something weird like that. I don't know if it sounded quite that cringe, but it was something similar to that. I don't know why I'm pointing this nail clipper at you. Let me put that down. But yeah, so he starts talking to Tien. He's basically trying to convince him to be a good guy, right? And Tien's like, no, I'll never be good. Rah, 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 rah. Shit like that, right? But then then the finals is the next day, right? So Goku and Tien start fighting there, and they're both really like kind of worked up. And Tien kind of notices he's having fun fighting Goku. Like, he seems like he really enjoys being challenged, right? But then at one point during their fight, Chaozu stuns Goku, like paralyzes him straight up, and Tien gets a good punch in, and he's like, well, that's weird. I meant that punch as kind of a feint so that I could follow with a different punch if Goku blocked it, which he was expecting, but Goku didn't block it, and then Goku calls him a cheater, and then Tien realizes that Chaozu must have paralyzed Goku. And then he's like shouting at Chaozu and the Crane Hermit, being like, what the fuck, you guys? Don't be doing this shit. Don't interrupt my fight. I want to win honorably. And that pisses off the Crane Hermit. And I think Crane Hermit's about to kill Tien, but Master Roshi stops him and Kamehamehas him just away. Like literally he throws a Kamehameha and the Crane Hermit just goes flying. It's like he hit a home run, but instead of a ball, it's a person. And that's very funny to me. But then Goku and Tien start fighting again, and at one point they're both like sky fucking high in the air, right? None of them know how to fly. And then they're still beating each other up. And then they both kind of go flying, right? Basically, in opposite directions. And the way the World Tournament announcer rules it, he's like, while they're still in the air, he's like, well, I guess whichever one of them hits the ground first is out of bounds first, and therefore is the loser, right? So they're both falling, and it looks like they're about to hit the ground at sort of the same time. But then out of nowhere, a car hits Goku. And keep in mind, they're like miles away from the tournament ring because of how high up they were. So this is some crazy shit. But Goku gets hit by a car. The car, I think, kind of breaks. And then Goku falls, right? Which you would think means that Goku wins because he hit the ground after Tien. But because he was hit by a car before Tien, and a car is not a part of the tournament ring, Goku loses, bro. So Tien is announced the winner, and they're all like, oh my god, that's crazy. But Tien and Goku become like fast-ish friends, and they all go out to eat together, have some dinner that night. And That's basically where the arc ends. Technically, in that same episode, the next arc begins, and we'll get into that in just a moment. But this arc is good. I like this arc a lot. I'll put it in good. I really enjoyed Tien's like character arc in this particular saga. It's very, very enjoyable to watch. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend. I recommend all of Dragon Ball, specifically the 2 tournament arcs and these next 2 arcs I'm about to talk about. Because these next 2 arcs might be some of the best storytelling Dragon Ball has, period. So the next arc is the Demon King Piccolo arc. And a lot of you fans might be knowing, oh, I know Piccolo, I know him. Well, you do, but this isn't his arc. This is his dad's arc. That's right, Piccolo has a dad, and this is his entire fucking arc. So the reason this arc starts at the end, like as soon as the last one ends, this one starts, is because when everybody else is out to dinner, Goku's like, oh, I forgot the 4-star Dragon Ball over in the tournament room. And Goku's like, oh, bro, you just had a huge fight. Don't worry about it. I'll go grab it. And as he goes to grab it, Krillin is murdered. He's straight up, this is the first time a main cast member has straight up just fucking died. He's just gone. Dunzo for good, right? And so then everyone's like, oh my god, where's Krillin? Oh my god, what happened to Krillin? And then Goku goes check on him and Krillin's dead. And this is the first time, I think, in the entire story, Goku's been like upset at people before. He was kind of mad at General Tao when General Tao killed Upa's dad. This is the first time we see Goku just like red with anger. Like he is pissed, bro. This is the, because I mean, Krillin's like his best fucking friend, right? As people who have watched Z will know, Krillin's his best friend, and he finds his best friend dead, and he's blaming himself, right? Because he went to go get the Dragon Ball for Goku. So then Goku, in a fit of rage, realizes the Dragon Ball's missing, which means the guy who killed Krillin must have the Dragon Ball. So he takes the radar from Bulma, and even though everyone's like, yo, Goku, hold on, wait, stop, you just fought Tien, he hasn't even, keep in mind, Mance hasn't even eaten yet. So Goku, in a fit of rage, steals the radar from Bulma, and even though Mance hasn't eaten, so he hasn't gotten any energy back, and even though he's, you know, beating his shit after Tien beat him up, he still chases after Tambourine, is the name of this creature that killed Krillin, right? And as he chases after Tambourine, Tambourine's like, oh, I sense a strong energy behind me. Who was that? That's how Tambourine sounds in my head. I don't know if that's how he actually sounds. But he spots Goku, and then he's like, oh, so you're a guy who's on this list. And he has a list of fighters who participate in the World Tournament and he's crossing off names, evidently, because he wants to kill all of these martial artists for some reason. So he's like, oh, so you're Goku? You're second on this list. All right, let's go down and let's throw hands. So he goes down, and he almost kills Goku. I think Goku is left like bloodied and beaten to a pulp, and I think it looks like he's maybe not breathing or something. So Tambourine leaves, right? Basically, TLDR, Tambourine assumes Goku's dead, even though Goku is not dead. This arc has a lot of other cool things, like the introduction of Yajirobe, right? Yajirobe's introduced, I think, literally right after this Tambourine fight. And so then Goku is like kind of brought back to life by the smell of meat, and he goes and he eats the meat that Yajirobe having cooked for himself, without Yajirobe being there. The Yajirobe shows up, they kind of have a small fight. And then Goku's like, yo, I need you to take me to Korin's tower, dog. Or no, not here. Maybe that's not here. I might be mixing it up in my head. But Tambourine, let's go to Tambourine's story next. Tambourine goes to home base, where you see the Pilaf gang bowing to a creature on a throne who looks old as fucking time itself. He's an old motherfucker. And this is the evil Demon King Piccolo. This is Piccolo Jr.'s father. Piccolo Jr. being the guy we all know as Piccolo in modern day Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball GT stories. But back then, there was no Piccolo Jr., there was just Demon King Piccolo. And this guy's collecting the Dragon Balls because he wants to be young again, right? So that's what he's wishing for, that's his goal. And then I think as he sends Tambourine off to find more Dragon Balls, he's like being real evil and menacing and rah. And Goku tracks down Tambourine again after he's kind of healed up. Yes, after he's healed up and after I think Yajirobe and him meet before the Tambourine fight. So then Goku tracks down Tambourine again, and Tambourine's like, "Oh, you're still alive? Okay, great. Well, I'll make sure you're dead this time." So they start fighting, and Goku handles Tambourine no problem. Literally zero issue with Tambourine. Tambourine gets dealt with like that. And at the time, we thought it was because Goku was just hungry. Which maybe that was the case, and his power then would have been able to just wipe out Tambourine anyway. But for those of you who know anything about Z, Goku actually got a Zenkai boost after he was almost killed by Tambourine. Which is why it seemed like Goku kept on getting exponentially stronger after each arc. It's because in each arc he always almost died, and then he comes back to life, and that back to lifeness is what creates the Zenkai boost in most Saiyans, right? So he fights Tambourine, he kills Tambourine. Piccolo gives birth to a guy named Symbol. Symbol goes down, fights Goku, I think is killed by Goku. And then Demon King Piccolo himself comes down because Goku has found the last Dragon Ball because he wants to bait the guy who sent Tambourine to kill Krillin into fighting him so that he can deal with this guy and just be done with it, right? So Demon King Piccolo comes down and fights Goku, and I shit you guys not, he beats the dog shit out of Goku. It is embarrassing how Goku got this badly beaten by this old ass man, right? And Demon King Piccolo, I think, so excited to have the Dragon Ball, doesn't really. I think he, again, like his son, assumes Goku is dead, so he just leaves Goku there to kind of be dead. And he just kind of like flies away, right? Goku is taken by Yajirobe in a little car that Yajirobe has, and because Goku's evidently still barely alive, and he can barely like do anything, right? He can barely move, but he's able to communicate to Yajirobe. So he tells Yajirobe to go to Korin's Tower, which is where Goku first went to beat General Tao. And so Goku's set on like, I'm just gonna train with Korin some more, and Korin will be able to like help me kill Demon King Piccolo, right? So while that like side mission is happening with Yajirobe and Goku, Master Roshi, and I don't know why I'm summarizing all these arcs. I always think I'm going to be succinct about it, and then it always ends up being a lot more long-winded than I wanted to be. But it's okay. Y'all can learn about some Dragon Ball. So then Master Roshi and Tien are like, yo, what the fuck do we do? Like, people are dropping like flies. They're getting murdered by like the dozen, right? How do we stop this? And so then Master Roshi's like, I know of one way. And it turns out Master Roshi's master, Master Mutaito's, I think his name, was actually the one who defeated Demon King Piccolo the first time Demon King Piccolo kind of landed on Earth and started fucking shit up, right? Because Master Mutaito evidently created a sealing technique, the Mafuba, which could seal any demon inside a like rice kettle or a pot, assuming they're able to land it, right? But it costs the user's life force, evidently. We later learn in Super, not necessarily the case as long as you have enough energy to sustain it, but since we're dealing with such absurdly low power levels, like in Dragon Ball, it effectively costs the entirety of your life force to seal something away, right? So Master Roshi tells Tien, I need you to leave, because I need to fight Piccolo and I don't want any type of distractions, right? And Tien's like, I bet. And so Tien and Chaozu, instead of leaving, actually hide behind some rocks to watch the fight. And as Master Roshi and King Piccolo, now young again, which Demon King Piccolo wishes for eternal youth, and then as Shenron's flying away, he's like, well, I actually don't want anybody using you, Shenron, to kill me. So sorry about this, dog, but... And then he vomits up a blast that kills Shenron. So Shenron is not only destroyed, but the Dragon Balls are now inert. So there's no way for people to make wishes, right? So now Krillin is gone. Like, gone. Like, he's gone for good. You know what I mean? And I'm sure a lot of you are like, oh my god, how? That's not possible. There's no way that happened. It did happen, but we'll get to how it gets retconned later, right? So... Oh my god, I just had a brain freeze. So, Master Roshi and now a young Demon King Piccolo begin fighting, right? And Master Roshi does manage to capture, or rather manage to hit Demon King Piccolo with the Mafuba, right? But now the second part of the technique, channeling the energy so it lands in the rice pot and the rice pot gets sealed, evidently a lot harder than it looks, because as Master Roshi throws the blast down, he misses the goddamn rice pot, which is insane to me. Imagine practicing for your whole life being ready to die to fight a motherfucker. ready to sacrifice your own life to fight a motherfucker. You get him with your move that's going to kill you, and you think you're just barely about to win, and then you miss. You miss. You hit the guy. You get the guy, but you miss the shot. It's like you're playing basketball, and somebody throws you a ball, and you're supposed to be like the point man. Right? You're supposed to be the one who dunks it in. So it's like they toss you the ball to go and dunk it, and then somehow as your hand is up in the air, the ball just kind of flies out, and the only thing that hits the rim is your hand. But the ball's kind of flown off over here, and you miss completely. You fumble the bag really fucking hard is what I'm trying to say. I couldn't imagine it being me, but it was Master Roshi in that moment, and the motherfucker then dies. And then Demon King Piccolo was laughing around now there's no one left to stop me. Whoa. But the reason Tien stayed back to fight, to watch this fight, is because he was okay, if Master Roshi fails, I need to know how to do the Mafuba so that I can seal Demon King Piccolo away, right? So when Demon King Piccolo leaves, another thing in the matter, was Demon King Piccolo young? He might have been old. This is all kind of jumbled in my head. I watched this arc a decade ago, rewatched it a decade ago, right? So, forgive me if I'm getting some details wrong. I'm kind of just painting with a very broad brush here. He might have been old, he might have been young. TLDR, Master Roshi dies. Tien grabs the right spot Master Roshi missed and begins practicing the Mafuba after Piccolo leaves, right? And then Tien goes and confronts Piccolo, and the same thing happens, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember how Tien dies. I think probably from using the Mafuba and missing. Or the Raitsuker was destroyed before he was able to use the Mafuba. Something happens, Tien dies. TLDR, right? So now Piccolo's there's literally nobody left who can stop me, right? I'm literally a god amongst men, which for all intents and purposes he kind of is. He literally takes over the world, releases every criminal from prison. He starts riots on the streets just cause. So he's fucking the world up pretty good. And in this meantime, Yajirobe has taken Goku to Pilaf's tower and then climbs the entire tower with Goku on his back, right? And when he gets to the top, Korin's oh, Goku, hi, how you doing, buddy? Your world's really fucked up right now. Here, have a Sensu Beam. And that heals Goku up just like that. And again, he gets a Zenkai boost. This is something to keep in mind. He gets a Zenkai boost here, right? Which we don't know. Again, we don't know what a Zenkai boost is, so we are unsure if Goku's... We actually think Goku's not stronger at all. He's just healed up. But he is actually much stronger than he was previously. And as Korin's talking to Goku, Korin's well, I really don't have much to teach you or to train you in. My training is really just getting you used to breathing less so you conserve more energy. And Goku's oh, so are we just fucked? And Korin's well, you could drink the actual sacred water. And Goku's what? I thought you said that was a lie. He's well, no, the water here that I told you the sacred water when you first showed up is actually just regular water, right? But we do actually have sacred water. And it could make you drastically more powerful. Powerful enough to maybe take on King Piccolo. But the downside is you could also die. And he was oh man, I don't. And Korin's yeah, and also Master Roshi, Tien, and Krillin are dead. And Goku's I think I'm gonna drink that water now, sir. And so then Goku drinks the water, and after kind of struggling, does he struggle with it a bit? I kind of feel he struggles for. I think I'm mixing him up with Yu Yu Hakusho, probably worse. I think Goku drinks it, and he feels sharp pain for a moment, and then he's completely fine. And Korin's oh my fucking god. One, I've never seen a human just tank the sacred water like that. And two, I can feel the energy emanating from you in a way I've never felt it emanate off of anyone before. I think you might be able to do this. So then Goku flies off on Nimbus to confront the evil Demon King Piccolo. And this fight is so fucking good, bro. The stakes are as high as they could ever possibly be. The fate of the entire world, for the first time, certainly not the last, but for the first time, is on Goku's shoulders. And Goku, in the final exchange of this fight, after Piccolo has disabled both of Goku's arms, no, not both of his arms, excuse me, one of his arms, right? Goku jumps at Demon King Piccolo, and King Piccolo's oh, you'll never be able to jump all the way up here, because King Piccolo knows how to fucking fly, which is good. And so as Goku's trying to punch him, he shoots a Kamehameha from under his goddamn feet. And then he launches himself at Demon King Piccolo, and his punch tears right through Piccolo's stomach. So So Piccolo has a Goku-shaped hole in his goddamn body, right? So this man's fucking dumb. And as Goku barely manages to succeed the fight and he begins falling down, Piccolo's like, curse you, Goku. I'll make sure to get my vengeance, even if it's not me. I'll give all my memories to my last and final child. And he vomits up a really giant fucking egg, and he spits it off into the distance. He's like, go, my child. Come back and kill Goku one day, or some shit like that. And then King Piccolo dies. And then Goku, that's basically the end of the arc. Goku then works his way up to Kami's tower with his power pole, meets Kami for the first time, and Kami's like, I can bring back the Dragon Balls if you'll train with me for 3 years, because King Piccolo had a son who's gonna come back and kill you if you don't train with me. He'll probably take over the world and shit. Goku's like, I bet I'll do that. This arc is amazing. This arc is awesome. Should be evidenced by how long we talked about it. I think it was like a full 12 minutes I talked about this arc. This arc is so good. It's definitely better than the original Budokai Tenkaichi arc. This arc is amazing. Next arc, Piccolo Jr. versus Goku arc. Also the third martial arts tournament we see. So this is the final arc before Dragon Ball Z. A lot of cool stuff happens. Piccolo fights Kami during the World Martial Arts Tournament. Kami's taking over the body of somebody else. And he reversed Mafuba's Kami when Kami tries to use Mafuba to end Piccolo, right? So that was really cool. That was a really sick move. And then after he reversed Mafuba's Kami, he puts the rescue Kami's into a capsule, and then Homeboy swallows the capsule, so no one can free Kami. That shit is fucking bananas. That shit is so fucking cool. And then Goku goes through like a small training montage. Like I don't think he fights Yamcha, but I'm pretty sure he fights Krillin, then Tien, and he handles both of them like they're fucking nothing. Against Tien, he sort of begins to struggle. He's like, alright, can we have time to like take off my shirt? And Tien's like, what? And then Goku takes off his, like, I think his clothing weighs a total of 100 kilograms, and he takes it all off. And Tien's like, what the fuck? And then he's immediately knocked out. It's pretty funny. But the main selling point of this arc is the culmination of everything that the previous arc was kind of leading up to. Which is the fight between Piccolo Jr., aka the new Demon King Piccolo, and Son Goku. And they meet in the finals of the martial arts tournament. And their fight is like beyond legendary, right? It is so fucking clean. I know at one point Piccolo becomes giant, and Goku's like, oh, is that as big as you can get? That's not gonna be enough to kill me. And then becomes even more giant. And then Goku runs up him, jumps into his mouth, and then goes inside his stomach to grab the capsule that houses Kami so that he can free Kami. And then he comes back out of his mouth and frees Kami. Like, that shit was so funny. But the TLDR of the fight is that after a very grueling and intense match, where even the ring itself I think is kind of blown up, Goku inevitably wins. Right? Oh, we also meet Chi-Chi. I forgot. Goku eliminated Chi-Chi round one, and then they get engaged right there on the spot. That part is less important. Chi-Chi's just there to give Goku kids to have the kids be useful in the narrative. That's how I see it. The fight between my Junior, aka Piccolo Jr., and Goku is great. It's real fun. This is definitely at the best of the good arcs we've covered so far. I don't think it's as good as the Demon King Piccolo arc. That arc is like peak Dragon Ball. But it's still very good. It's still very fun. I like this arc a ton. So yeah, here's OG Dragon Ball, kind of all rated. And as you notice, we have one of each of these, at least one of each of these arc from best to bad already filled in. I'm now going to be picking up the pace a little bit quicker. I'm assuming all of y'all have watched the Saiyan Saga, or all of Dragon Ball Z. We'll talk a little bit about Dragon Ball GT, and we'll talk a little bit about the manga arcs of Super, but these I'm just going to kind of rate, give a small reasoning why, and then we'll go on, right? Nappa and Vegeta, Saiyan Saga, right? Saiyan Saga is good, it's solid. I really like the beam clash between Goku and Vegeta at the end of this. I really like how it literally took all the Z fighters to beat Vegeta, and then Vegeta ran away. That was cool. This is the start of Goku's bad habit of leaving villains alive for a better fight later. In this one singular case, it works out because Vegeta does eventually, inevitably become a good guy. But yeah, Nappa is killed, Raditz is killed. The way Raditz is killed is dope. Piccolo kidnaps Gohan, that's really fun. Gohan, this is where Gohan's arc begins, bro. The entirety of Z up and until the Cell arc is less about Goku. Goku's more of like the the fixer, right, who comes in at the end and cleans everything up. This is really a story about Gohan's growth and development, right? And a little bit about Vegeta and Piccolo's as well. This is where Piccolo kind of goes from a neutral evil to a neutral good character, right? Because he knows love for the first time in his life. And not love like romantic love, but he cares for another creature so much so that he sacrifices himself to save said creature, which is where like his arc kind of culminates and finishes, right? And then from that point forward, he's legally Gohan's dad. So Gohan has 2 dads and a mom. So good for Gohan. But yeah, this arc is solid. I don't love it. I do think, as much as this is gonna make some of y'all cringe, I do think I like it less than the Tien Shinhan tournament arc. I really just have a thing for tournament arcs. I love them so much. But it's a nice arc. It's a solid arc. It's not bad. It's just good moments does not a great arc make. Again. And while the Dragon Ball Z abridged version of this arc is very funny, we're reading Dragon Ball, like the manga / anime, not Dragon Ball Z abridged. So yeah, this gets a solid from me, nothing more. Next up, Frieza, or not Frieza arc, but I guess Planet Namek arc, the Finding Dragon Balls arc. This arc is very cool. I like this arc a lot. Not as much as the next arc, which we'll talk about here in a bit. I do think this arc is good, because we get such a wealth of like different and varied characters. The Ginyu Force hard carry a lot of this for me. I love the Ginyu Force. The abridged version certainly, but also like the version here. For some reason, Jace is Australian if you watch the dub. And as weird as that is, I kind of love that, so that's pretty great. But besides the Ginyu Force, we get like Vegeta kind of showing up, roaming around, right, killing up Frieza's men one by one. That's a really fun thing to see. Bounty Hunter Vegeta is really cool. We get stuff with like Krillin and Gohan kind of becoming more and more friendly. Gohan and Krillin kind of having to like, yeah, Gohan and Krillin. I was like, wait, did I say the right names? I did. Gohan and Krillin kind of like, they save Dende, so Dende, that's how like they know Dende in the first place, right? So they save him on Namek. And they go around like stealing the Dragon Balls from people who already have stealing. They steal one of Vegeta's Dragon Balls, so Vegeta can't call Shenron. Vegeta finds out, gets super pissed, and goes to like beat the shit out of both of them. But Gohan's potential is unlocked by Guru. Guru unlocks Krillin's potential as well. Gohan's now as strong as Vegeta was when he came to Earth. So keep in mind, Gohan at the age of like 6 years old is already leagues stronger than Goku was at that age, right? You didn't even meet Goku in Dragon Ball proper until he was like 10 or 11. So, and he was a total bitch compared to Gohan. So something to consider. Gohan's incredibly powerful for 6 years. That's what I'm saying. But the Ginyus do a lot of hard lifting, and then Goku shows up, and that's really cool. So it's a fun arc, it's a cool arc, it's a good arc. Now that I'm thinking about it, this kind of also goes in solid, I think. I think it definitely goes, I think both of these go above the Baba arc. As much as I love the Baba arc is really only in solid because Grandpa Gohan is one of my favorite characters of all time. But both these are solid. I think I like Ginyu more than I like the Saiyan arc. I'm calling it the Ginyu arc, dude. The Ginyu Force does a lot of carrying here. But I think I like this arc more than the Saiyan Saga. Saiyan Saga is still very cool. It's like the first time you get like power levels and shit, which is neat. But yeah, so this arc is fine. Next arc. Oh, baby. It's definitely one of the best arcs. We'll put it at the bottom for now, and as I talk about it, we'll maybe figure out a place for it. So this is the Frieza Saga. Or Frieza arc. And this shit is dope, dude. This starts after the Namekian Dragon Balls are gathered by Krillin, Goku, and Vegeta. Krillin, Gohan, and Vegeta. And they wish for one Piccolo to be brought back to life, so that Kami is brought back to life, so the Dragon Balls are back. Because Piccolo dies, so Kami dies, so the Dragon Balls go. And two, for some reason, they wish Piccolo to Namek. I think it's because Piccolo wants to be there. It's like, yeah, I want to help you guys, and I want to fight this Frieza motherfucker. Which I think that's dumb as hell. I don't know why you want to fight a guy who's stronger than anybody ever. Unless your name is exactly Son Goku, but nah, that's not going to go there. But yeah, so they wish him back. Frieza shows up, he gets pissed, he starts beating the shit out of all of them. And then he transforms into second form. He spears Krillin with his horns. Krillin blinds him after he's healed up by Dende. He's about to kill Gohan until Piccolo shows up and saves Gohan. You will notice that kind of becomes a theme in the movies, not so much here in that main story. But this is the second time Piccolo has saved Gohan, right? And they keep on fighting until, you know, he eventually powers up to like final form, and then he kills Vegeta, and then Goku shows up as Vegeta's dying. And Goku and Frieza's fight is really what carries this. Goku and Frieza's first fight is so good. It's so much fun to watch. Goku really does some like out of the box thinking to like fight Frieza. He realizes Frieza can't sense energy, so he creates like 2 orbs for the Dragon Balls. For the Dragon Balls, 2 orbs of Kamehameha, puts them under the water, and then shoots them up at Frieza while he's in a different area, so that Frieza thinks it's distracting. He's like, "Oh, are you under the water?" And then he like jump kicks Frieza from like the sky. It's crazy. This all culminates in Frieza killing Krillin. And Goku, if y'all remember Goku from the King Piccolo arc, he don't like it when Krillin dies. And because this is the second time Krillin has died, he thinks Krillin can't be brought back with the Dragon Balls anymore. Because the caveat for the Dragon Balls is that if somebody's been brought back before, you can't come back again. And Goku loses it, dog. Again, if you haven't seen Z, I don't know why the fuck you're watching this. Go watch Z, especially this particular part I'm talking about. This is where we see Super Saiyan for the first time. And this shit is so unbelievably hype. This is, of course, where Dragon Ball becomes more about the and, you know, power buffing yourself, like stat boosting yourself, but still, it's very cool to see. OG Super Saiyan transformation is maybe the most iconic transformation of all time. I love One Piece. Gear 5 does not hold a candle to this. There will be nothing more iconic than this transformation. And that might be the boomer in me talking. Maybe for people who are like Gen Z who didn't really watch this growing up, maybe it's different for y'all. I don't know. But for me, nothing will ever be more iconic than Goku's transformation to Super Saiyan. So yeah, this arc is really fucking good. This arc is great. Go watch this arc. This arc is awesome. Next one, Android Saga. This one is good. I definitely preferred it to both of these. So this arc is great. Just from the introduction of this arc, right? The introduction of this arc is Frieza's alive. Oh no, it's coming to Earth. Oh no, Goku's not back yet. Oh no, how do we deal with this? Well, as it turns out, you don't have to, because a mysterious stranger from the future shows up with a sword, which is awesome, and he goes Super Saiyan. So the second Super Saiyan we see is not Vegeta, who I think a lot of people were expecting it to be if we would ever even get a second Super Saiyan, but it's some random no-name kid, who then deals with all of Frieza's men, kills Frieza, lets Frieza's dad look at his sword. Frieza's dad tries to use his sword to kill said kid, and the kid just... He's not even phased. He's just like, cool, you tried to kill me? Awesome, you suck, time to die. And then kills Frieza's dad too, and blows up Frieza's spaceship. So crazy shit happens there, right? And then they go to meet Goku, who's landing on Earth, and somehow this kid knows where Goku's landing. And the kid then has a solo conversation with Goku, and it's like, hey, I'm from the future, my name is Trunks, Vegeta's my dad, Bulma's my mom, so that's a pairing. Goku's like, oh my god, what? He's like, yeah, that's not why I'm here. I'm here because you actually die about two-ish years from now from a heart attack. Here's the medicine, don't die, there's androids coming, they're gonna kill you and your friends. So, you know, because you're dead, so you can't be there to fight them. But if you're not dead, you might be able to deal with it, no problem. And Goku's like, alright, sick. So then everyone starts training after Trunks leaves, right? For these androids. And these 2 androids do show up exactly where future Trunks said they would. And these 2 androids are androids 19 and 20, right? And as I'm sure you know, Android 20 actually is revealed to be Dr. Gero. Because Trunks came back, it caused like a butterfly effect where instead of Android 17 and 18, who's supposed to be here, it's actually Android 19 and 20. Goku's heart attack is delayed until much later, so it happens as Android 19 is fighting him. So Gohan takes his dad home while Super Saiyan Vegeta shows up to beat the shit out of Android 19. And this arc is just so good, so filled with so much good stuff, right? Krillin being kind of in love with Android 18. Android 18 and 17 showing up, killing Dr. Gero, and then beating the dog shit out of Vegeta, like embarrassing him. Trunks going like, oh, as it turns out, these 2 are actually way stronger than they are at my time. And people being like, fuck, I gotta go fuse the Kami, then goes to fuse the Kami. So much good, entertaining stuff in this arc. This arc is great. I also think this arc in particular has a special place in my heart along with the next arc because of how phenomenal the Dragon Ball Z abridged version of these arcs are. Again, even the creators of Dragon Ball Z Abridged will say go watch Dragon Ball Z before you watch their show, and I do agree with that. So definitely go watch Z if you haven't. Also, again, if you haven't, why are you watching this? But after you're done with that, if you haven't checked out Dragon Ball Z Abridged, I implore you, go check it out. That shit is awesome. Shout out the guys over at TFS, Team 4-Star. They're all fucking amazing. So yeah, this is great. This is great. I love this arc. But not as much as I love the Cell Saga. The Cell Saga is, I think, probably my favorite story in the entirety of Dragon Ball. And that is solely because of Gohan's transformation at the very end of this saga. It's just, oh my god, it's so beautiful, it's so poignant, it's so well done. I'll get to that in a moment, right? So Cell is a crazy bug monster from the future, from a third timeline. So the way the timelines are, right, is the way time travel works, right, is that it's multiverse theory, right? So when you're time traveling, when you're going backwards in time, you're not traveling back in your own timeline, you're traveling back to a different dimension that shares basically everything that's the same as your timeline, except for the fact that you have time traveled here to this point in time, which is now the first like divergent crossroads of the two timelines, right? So it's really cool, it's really interesting. But the TLDR is that Cell. So here's our base Dragon Ball timeline, right? Here's Trunks' timeline where the androids killed everyone, and then here's the third timeline where Cell is from, where Trunks, even though he killed everyone, even though the androids killed everyone, he goes back in time, gets stronger with the Z Fighters, comes back and kills the androids. But Cell needs the androids to get to his perfect form, which you see right there. So he kills Trunks and takes this Trunks' time machine and comes to this timeline as well. The same timeline where this Trunks went to the first time, right? So now that all that's there, Cell's a bug monster who absorbs people to get stronger. So he absorbs 17, he absorbs 18, he becomes super powerful. And then he decides to hold a world tournament because he wants people to know his name before he kills the entire planet. And the culmination of this is basically Gohan learning how to go Super Saiyan in the hyperbolic time everyone spends time with his dad, which is great. Really cool, really great part of the story. Very nice to see Goku and Gohan finally spending quality time together, right? But this all culminates in, as I said earlier, Gohan's transformation to something beyond a Super Saiyan. I believe it's called an Ascended Super Saiyan in the actual official things, or a Super Duper Saiyan to be abridged. But it was colloquialized here in the States to Super Saiyan 2, right? It's the Super Saiyan form with the crackling lightning around you. And this transformation is so awesome. And the way he beats the dog shit out of Cell is so savage. This man punches Cell so hard, he vomits up Android 18 and loses his perfect form. That's insane to me. And then of course Cell tries to blow up the planet, but Goku's like, oh, I should probably go fix my mess. And then he instant transmission Cell's body to King Kai's planet where he explodes harmlessly. But then he comes back because he also gets a Zenkai boost because Cell is made up of all the cells of everybody. And his Zenkai boost is exponentially stronger because he's in perfect form, and then he gets a Zenkai boost. Which I don't know how he was in perfect form after he exploded. I guess it was just like memory in his cells from that. I don't know. It's very, very weird, but it's still very cool. And then the final beam clash between Cell and Gohan is fucking awesome and very cool. It's where we get the iconic father-son Kamehameha. I know I said cool moments does not make a great saga, but damn, dog. This might be I don't think this is the exception because the writing here is also very good and it's very, very well written. We get Hercule Satan introduced here, who plays a pivotal part in the next upcoming sagas, right? Very, very cool. Very fun. I also love Gohan. I think I've always loved Gohan from like the moment he became an adolescent up until Super, really. Super, they kind of don't know what to do with Gohan until Tournament of Power stuff. And even Tournament of Power kind of rushes progression, but it's fine. But yeah, I'm a huge Gohan fan. I've loved Gohan, love Great Saiyaman, love Adult Gohan. I guess technically that would be the true Team Gohan, but whatever. This is my favorite arc in all of Dragon Ball. Hands down, bar none. I love this arc. But on to the next arc. This is the Babidi and Dabura arc. And this arc is solid. This arc is very solid. I like that we see a lot of Gohan in the earlier parts of this arc. I don't like that we get less of him because after a little bit, Toriyama realized that Gohan wasn't strong enough of a character. Not strong enough. He wasn't a character who could kind of carry a series the way Goku was. Right? So we switched Goku back to the main character, which is when Goku contacts Gohan. It's like, hey, I'm coming back for one day, which is the day of the World Tournament. So if you want to get everyone together, we can all go to the tournament and fuck shit up. Gohan's like, fuck yeah, Dad. And Vegeta's like, fuck yeah, my arch rival. I'm so happy you're coming back. I finally have a reason to fight again. We see Gohan and Trunks, which is very cool, very cute. Gohan kind of gets a lady friend in Videl, and I really like Videl, especially when she gets that pixie cut. She's really cute there, so that's the haircut I like on her. Not here nor there. I like her with the pixie cut, so keep that in mind now. But yeah, it's a very fun little arc. It's a fun little story where they go to like the World Tournament. And then at the World Tournament, they meet the Supreme Kai and his helper Kibito, which is very interesting. They're there for some mysterious reason. And then the reason is revealed to be Yamu and Spopovich, is I think their names. When Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2 against Kibito, he gets jumped by Yamu and Spopovich, and they steal his energy, which is weird. I don't know how exactly they do that, but they do that and then they fly away. And while Goku's ready to kill them, Supreme Kai's like, well, actually, we have to follow them. That's why we're here. We need to find out where the base of operations is. And Goku's like, alright, bet, let's go. So they all go off flying. Kibito heals up Gohan, and Gohan, and Videl kind of go flying off after them too. But they're flying real fast, and so Videl's like, I don't think I can keep up with y'all. Gohan, make sure you come back safe. And Gohan's like, ma'am, yes, ma'am. And while they're going, I'm sure y'all know this. TLDR, Majin Buu gets awakened. He kills everyone, or he fucks up a lot of shit. But at the end of this arc is where Babidi takes over Vegeta. We get Majin Vegeta, which is a really cool transformation. Vegeta and Goku start fighting, right? So this arc is made up of a lot of cool moments, made up of a lot of cool fights. I think I like it a little bit less than Gohan's story. I'm not gonna lie. The Grandpa Gohan story I love a lot. I think we're gonna do some reorganizing here. I think like this is maybe how I'm gonna put it. The more I think about it, the more the Grandpa Gohan stuff really carries the Baba stuff. But yeah, this is where I like this arc. It's fine. Next arc, the entire Buu saga. This was also very solid. No, it's solid. It's probably at the top of solid if I had to put it anywhere, but I don't think it's good. I think these three arcs are hands down like head and shoulders better than this Super Buu arc, or the entirety of the Buu arc. The Buu arc has a lot of really crazy moments, and it's very, very fun. Gohan shows up, his ultimate Gohan, after training with Supreme Kai, and he says, "No, I'm here to kill you, motherfucker." When Super Buu was like, "Oh, what are you gonna do? You're gonna fight me?" That was awesome. He also calls Super Buu a slur for people with special needs, which I'm not a fan of the word, which is why I don't use it. And that's kind of not the best look for Gohan, but that's also only in the sub. In the dub, Gohan doesn't say so. In the dub, Gohan's still my good boy, and we love him. He's a good bean. We love our little bean Gohan. But yeah, so this arc has a lot of cool stuff. The final Spirit Bomb where Hercule's like, where Goku needs energy, and she's like, "Oh, you fucking humans, help us out!" And they're all like, "Well, we don't like this guy." And Hercule's like, "Guys, it's actually me. You gotta help me. I need your energy, please." And everyone's like, "Oh, Hercule, we love you!" And they raise their hands and they give Goku all their energy, and Goku throws like the biggest Spirit Bomb ever. It's the first and only time the Spirit Bomb ever actually kills anyone, but it's still really cool, so I like that scene a lot. So that's great. I love that. But again, cool moments does not a good arc make. And I don't know, something... I feel like after the Cell arc, the soul of the story kinda... not died, but was a little bit diminished, you know? Maybe that's just my perception. I haven't watched the Buu stuff in a long time. I could be wrong. But that's just kind of how I feel about it. So yeah, Buu's in the solid arc. Now for GT. So, GT is interesting. I think Scott, aka Kaiser Neko, aka one of the guys again on Team 4-Star, check out their channel, Team 4-Star and 4-Star Bento, love both those. But I think I heard him be the one to say, GT has a lot of phenomenal ideas that are executed incredibly poorly. So, we'll talk about them in order. First we'll go the Gathering and the Dragon Ball arc. This arc was cool, but it really felt just like a ton of filler to me, right? There wasn't an essential villain. There wasn't really a central plot around which everything revolved. The writing is kind of sloppy, a little bit messy. Pan is kind of super annoying, which I don't love, because Pan at the end of Z is really fucking cool, and I liked her a lot. But that just is what it is. That's just kind of how it goes. It was cool seeing the different kinds of aliens that we got to see at GT. That was neat. Some of the fights were really cool. And weirdly, the dub soundtrack, like the dub opening to GT, I know it's cringe as hell. Still a fun song. It's still, I like it. I don't know. It's fine, I guess. It's fine. But yeah, first arc of GT was pretty dog shit. Second arc of GT, I think it's Baby, right? Baby, then Super 17. I'm pretty sure it's the Baby arc. This arc is really cool. The only reason this isn't solid is because it has enough cool moments that outweigh the sloppy-ish writing. But Baby is a Tuffle. Tuffles hate Saiyans because they were eradicated by Saiyans. They have the ability to take over people. So when Goku and company fight Baby in space, he kind of infects one of them. I think it's Trunks as like a sleeper agent. And then when they get to actual planet Earth, Trunks is infected and spreads the infection to a bunch of other people. So like Gohan, Goten, they all get infected. I think Bulma, Chi-Chi get infected. But the one he wants the most is Vegeta, since Vegeta is the Prince of the Saiyans, right? And I believe it's this arc where Goku discovers Super Saiyan 4, and he absolutely... The reason I like GT is because the Super Saiyan 4 transformation is so raw, bro. It's so cold. It's so cool, man. So it's great. I like this arc a lot. Super Saiyan 4 carries this arc on its head, shoulder, and back, as a Super Baby 2, who's a villain that I really like. But yeah, that's it for this one. These two are kind of in the same boat. Not the writing is sloppy. They have a lot of really cool moments, but they kind of drag on a little bit. And they're both carried by the fact that Super Saiyan 4 exists within them. The final arc especially right here is cool because Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is introduced, and that's kind of awesome. I like that a lot. But neither of them, their storytelling kind of whatever. It's just mid. It's just mid. I'm not gonna expand further. Y'all don't need to know. If y'all really want to get to judge for yourself, go watch GT, bro. GT it's cool, but yeah. Alright, so these next two, I'm gonna say it right now, the animation in Super was dogs. We're not gonna be judging it by that. We're gonna be judging it by the movies that came out for these first two arcs. Battle of Z might be, I think, the second best or the third best. Oh man. I love Demon People. I think it's the second best bit of Dragon Ball media I've seen. Battle of Gods, not Battle of Z. Battle of Gods is maybe the best thing to happen to Dragon Ball. It was the best thing to happen to Dragon Ball in like 20 some odd years. And it was so huge that it created the spin-off series, right? Super would not have existed if Battle of Gods not existed. This movie's awesome. We get the introduction of Beerus, we get the introduction of Whis, we get the introduction of Super Saiyan God. We get maybe one of the best fights in all of Dragon Ball. A fight so powerful that it shakes universes. Craziness. We get the "That's my Bulma" scene from Vegeta, which is cool. We get to see Gohan living like the nice domestic life, which is, I think, a poignant ending for him. It's kind of what he always wanted, which I think is awesome. So this arc is great. I like it a ton. If you haven't seen Dragon Ball Super, don't watch the first two arcs. Go watch the movies instead. Go watch Battle of Gods and then go watch Return of Beth. Speaking of Return of Beth, is it solid or is it mid? I think we'll put this at the top of mid. The movie itself is kind of whatever. I think really it's just an excuse to give Goku and Vegeta Super Saiyan Blue. That's really the point of it, so they have a place to test it, right? Bringing Frieza back is one of the better things I think Dragon Ball has done. I do love that. But besides the fights, it's kind of hacky. It's kind of whatever. I don't like how Vegeta was robbed of his win by Goku at the very end, and I don't like how they Deus Ex'd the ending, right? Like, I feel like Vegeta could have just killed Frieza and it would have been fine. But he doesn't. Instead, he doesn't do it quick enough, and Frieza pulls up the entire Earth. and then Whis saves Vegeta and Goku. Like, well, actually, I can rewind time once a day. So when I rewind time, I'll make sure you kill Frieza immediately. And they're like, sir, yes, sir. So they rewind time to right before Frieza's about to blow everything up, and then Goku just kills him. And that's the end of the movie. So I don't love that. Endings matter a lot. That ending's kind of It's fine, but it's not. I wouldn't write home to anybody about it. It's okay. Next up, this arc. This is the Universe 6 versus Universe 7 arc. This arc is solid. I like this arc a healthy bit. I think yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, the Ginyu arc is real cool, but it's not as cool as this arc. This arc is great. Actually, I think we'll put this in good. I think we'll put this at the very, very top of good. Because the more I think about it, the better it is than these two arcs as well. But at the very top of good. I love the introduction of a mirror universe. I think that increases the cosmology of Dragon Ball. I really enjoy. The cosmology of anything I enjoy. I really, really like, right? And this does that. We learned there are 12 other universes in this arc. Or 11 other universes in this arc. And our universe is Universe 7. Which I think is appropriate because, 7 Dragon Ball. That was the inspiration for that. And now we're fighting against Universe 6 here. For the fate of the Earth. Not that anything will actually change with the Earth. The Earth will just be moved to a different location, which would be Universe 6. Like Champa, Beerus' brother, can have access to delicious Earth food that Beerus doesn't have. Premise is real silly, but I love it. It's a very Dragon Ball premise, right? This arc is awesome. We get Kaba introduced, who's a Saiyan from Universe 6. In Universe 6, Saiyans are like really good people, so their planet wasn't blown up by Frieza. Love this movie. So their planet wasn't blown up by Frieza, right? Which is great. They meet Frost, who's the Frieza equivalent, who is actually just as much of a bastard as Frieza, but nowhere near as powerful as Frieza that he recently just fought. But he's like a faux good guy who's pretending to be a good guy, but actually he runs an evil criminal syndicate. It's really weird. But they deal with him. They meet 2 other guys who are kind of irrelevant, but the most important fight in this arc is Hit. Hit is an assassin who can stop time. But he can move while time is stopped. It's crazy. He's so fucking powerful. And Goku starts fighting him, and Goku uses the Kaioken Super Saiyan Blue transformation, which is so cool. Such a sick move. And he still loses. Goku still loses to Hit. That shit was bananas, brother. And Beerus is freaking out because he thinks he's about to lose, but then Hit throws the last fight because he don't want anything bad happen to Goku because he kind of liked Goku. And then the Omni King shows up, and then that's when we learn about the cosmology of the universes. So it's cool. It's really cool. It's good. After talking about it, I actually think it does belong in solid. It's a lot more solid than I thought there would be. There's a lot less good than I thought there would be. I think we'll put it at the top of... No, we'll put it at the bottom of good. There's a healthy distance between these two, but we'll keep it here, I think. Next up, Goku Black Arc. Man, oh man. When I tell y'all endings matter, this is what I'm talking about. Because before I saw the ending of this arc, this would have been here. This would have maybe been here. That's how tight this arc was. But the ending was so dog shit bad. I cannot, in good consciousness, put it anywhere above here. And I think if I'm being like really honest, it probably goes here. If I'm being for real, I think right in the middle of solid is where I keep it. That's how bad the ending was, right? So in case you didn't know, this is like the evil Goku arc. It's not actually an evil Goku. It's a guy called Zamasu who takes over Goku's body. He's kind of like a half god, and when he goes Super Saiyan, God in this form, he just very turns thing. It's really cool. But yeah, Trunks is fighting this guy in the future. His future's like gotten really fucked up by this guy. This guy kills his mom right before he time travels back into the past, so it's real sad. And he basically brings Goku and Vegeta from the past that he knew to come fight this guy who he can't beat. And the ending, I think if it ended when Trunks used the Spirit Sword technique to merge Zamasu in half, this would have been like the best arc in all of Dragon Ball. I would have loved it, even though there wasn't really much of an explanation for knowing how to do that. I think probably he trained with King Kai, he took it up from King Kai. That's my headcanon, it's never confirmed, so kind of sloppy writing, but whatever. We got Vegito Blue in this arc. Vegito Blue is one of the coolest characters of all time. All the Vegito forms are really cool, but I love Vegito Blue so ungodly amounts. He was so powerful that after I think 5 minutes of fighting in that form, I was gonna say half an hour, I didn't think it was half an hour. After 5 minutes of fighting in that form, a fusion that should have lasted for 1 hour lasted only for 5 minutes and then became unfused. That's how strong this motherfucker was. That's crazy to me. So yeah, it's good. It's cool. It's not bad. I liked it enough. But the ending is really dog shit. Zamasu merges with the universe and is about to destroy the whole thing. So then Goku uses his Call Omni King button and Omni King destroys the entire universe. Then they take that Omni King and they take him to their universe where now there's 2 Omni Kings. And then Luis is like, oh well, I can't return you, Future Trunks, and you, Future Mai, to your timeline. But I can return you to an identical timeline. There'll just be 2 of you and 2 of Mai. And Trunks is like, yeah, that sounds great. Instead of being like, well, can I just live here instead? Which that would have been awesome. I would have loved it if Future Trunks had just stayed in that timeline. Would have been so sick. Would have been so cool. Oh well. Ending was real dumb. Zamasu merging with the universe, really stupid. Omni King destroying that entire universe, really stupid. Trunks being okay with going to a universe where there's already one of him and Mai existing, really stupid. Though I'm sure the sex they have is crazy over there. But yeah, so that's why this arc can't be more than solid. Tournament of Power. Again, I think it's worse than the Tien Shinhan Dragon Ball arc, but I do think it's good. I think it's solid. It's more than solid. It's good. This arc had a lot of cool moments. Master UI Goku being one of them, but the single coolest moment of the arc. No one can argue with me on this, all right? Because there has never been, nor will there ever be, a cooler moment in this arc than the one I'm about to say. It's when Kefla shoots that crazy energy beam at Goku, and Goku charges a Kamehameha, and as he's charging it, he kind of jumps around, uses the energy he's gathered to ride up the energy beam, and he kind of swirls on top of it, and then he just lands in front of Kefla and just shoots it in your fucking face, and she flies out. It is insane. It's so cool. That shit is awesome. And then we get Master UI Goku, which is also fine. We get Guard Destruction Toppo, which is cool. We get Mega Super Bananas Ultra Instinct Vegeta, which is neat. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. It's good. It's good enough. I liked it. But that's all I really have to say. Jiren's kind of a really disappointing antagonist. His story is so generic and basic. He's really boring as a villain. I think Toppo's way more interesting as an antagonist than Jiren is. We also get a mock final explosion. It kind of sullies the final explosion from the Buu arc because Vegeta doesn't die here. It's very clearly a cheap imitation, but they also don't want consequences for their main characters. It's just don't do the move. Just don't do the move. I think that would have been way better. But besides that, everything else in this arc is really cool. We see Master Roshi fighting. We see Frieza playing Frost like a fiddle. We see Frieza torturing a guy so bad, the guy jumps out of the ring so he doesn't have to be tortured by Frieza anymore. That shit was funny as fuck. We see Gohan and Piccolo fighting 2 Namekians who are basically the entirety of their race. And I don't mean they're the last 2 survivors, even though they are, but they're only the last 2 survivors because they both fused with half the planet. Think about that. That's insane, no? So that's crazy. And they somehow still win, which I guess just goes to show if you get enough Zenkai boosts, you can be stronger than even an entire planet of people, which is crazy. But yeah, it's we get a lot of really interesting fights, a lot of really cool stuff. There's literally too much to go over here for me to talk about. Android 17 hard carries, love that man. But there's so much, there's so many things I can talk about. I'm not going to. Just go watch it. It's a cool arc. Next up, Dragon Ball Super Broly. Man, this was good. I'm not moving it because I don't know where I want to put it yet. It's either bottom of best or top of good. Those are really the only places I can put it. That's how good this was. I think we'll put it at the top of good because I don't think the best arcs should outnumber the good arcs. I think we'll put it at the top of good. this was awesome, bro. This arc was so fucking sick. This was so goddamn tight. I loved this arc so fucking much. They didn't even do this in the manga. This was only a movie, but it's a canon movie, so it counts and we're gonna cover it. Broly here, way better than the Broly from Z. Broly from Z was, oh no, I'm a literal giant fucking baby because I'm pissed that a baby cried next to me when I was a baby. Like craziness, right? This Broly just been abandoned. Him and his father's just been abandoned on a different planet because his baby was born too strong. Really cool stuff. I like this arc a lot. The introduction of that one chick, I forget her name, but the one that kind of has a romantic interest in Broly, or maybe not romantic, but interest. I think it's romantic, but I could just be like, projecting. I might just be projecting, but I like this movie a ton. Gogeta is probably my favorite movie character, and he solidifies that position in this movie. The scene where where Goku and Vegeta are like fighting against Broly, who's gone berserk, and they can't keep up. And they're like, okay, we have to feud, but we don't have a safe place to do it. So they jump in front of Frieza, and then they instant transmission out of there, so that Broly just starts beating the fuck out of Frieza. That shit was funny. Another amazingly good scene. When Frieza kills Broly's dad, and then he goes, oh no, Broly, one of the Saiyans killed your father, oh no, to trigger Super Saiyan transformation in Broly. So good, so peak, I love it so much. And then of course the fight between Gogeta and Broly is one of the best animated fights maybe of all time. It's so clean, so awesome. I love this movie. It's all fighting and it's all great, and the narrative parts that are here are also very, very well done. Very, very well done. This movie is excellent. Not quite as good as Battle of Gods, but probably the second best movie to ever come out. That's great. So now we get the Moro arc. I don't remember this arc super duper well. I remember the Granola arc a little bit more. I do remember. I like this arc a lot. I think we're gonna put this just under. We'll put it here. I think I like the end of it a little bit more. Still a good arc. Still a very good arc. Just a little bit different. Moro is a guy who uses magic. Moro's scary as fuck. He's a prisoner of the Intergalactic Patrolmen, I think they're called. The association Jocko's a part of. Very, very cool story. Whenever he touches somebody, he can kind of absorb their powers, which is how he gets so fucking yoked so quickly towards the end. I think that's how he absorbs their powers. He's able to absorb those powers, I'm pretty sure. Very, very cool arc. He beats Vegeta. This is where Goku trains with an angel. Not Whis, but a different angel. He's working as a part of the Galactic Patrolmen. But he's had his angel powers sealed away because the angels aren't allowed to interfere with the mortal realm, right? But he was a really caring and sweet boy, so he decided he wanted to help the mortals as best he could. But towards the end of this arc, he has to unlock his angel powers to fight Moro off for a little bit, to give Goku time to master his UI form, which he kind of helps with, right? So he fights Moro. Moro doesn't absorb his powers or anything, but I think he does end up kind of dying as being recalled back to the Celestial world. I think shows what happened. But at this point, Goku's mastered Ultra Instinct, sort of. Not completely, but he's able to kind of enter the UI sign form at will, and he ends up going to master Ultra Instinct to beat Moro. It's a very cool fight. It's very interesting. Moro is so unlike any other villain we've had in Dragon Ball, so I really, really like this guy. I think he's really cool. So yeah, this is a good arc. Granola arc, we're going to go ahead and put at the top of solid. I like this arc a lot. There's a lot of really, really, really cool ideas. It's like a hair's breadth away from being really good. But it's just, I don't know, something about it it doesn't get there for me, This guy finds the Namekian Dragon. Is it the Namekian Dragon Balls or is it the Dragon Balls in his home world? There's a Namekian on his home world, I think, who made the Dragon Balls. And he collects said Dragon Balls and he wishes to the dragon, I want to be the strongest person in the world, or in the universe. And then this guy's like, okay, sure, but it means I'm going to have to use your life force to do it, so you'll only get to live for like 3 more years. And homeboy's like, bet, let's run it. Hard as fuck, first off. That's a crazy cool wish. So he just wishes for power. He doesn't wish for eternal life. He doesn't wish for happiness. He doesn't wish for any of that shit. He just wishes to be strong as fuck. And he does. He becomes a strong motherfucker. So strong that Goku and Vegeta can't actually compete with this guy. But the thing about this wish is that he's only the strongest in the universe at the moment he makes that wish, which Vegeta points out. Because then Vegeta is able to unlock Ultra Ego, I think is what it's called, or Super Ego, or something like that. Basically the power that the gods of destruction use versus the power that the angels use, which is Ultra Instinct, right? So Vegeta gets a really interesting form. The hair looks really cool, but the eyebrows look really fucking whack because there are none, so it's kind of like Super Saiyan 3, you know, Super Saiyan 3 pill, which I don't love, but neither here nor there. But this form is fucking killer, bro. He starts beating the shit out of Granola with it. And Granola kind of manages to fight back, and I think he does inevitably win. But he's like, how the fuck did you get so much stronger? And then Vegeta's like, well, see, that's the difference. You just wished to be the strongest guy, so you could kind of like cheat your way to the top. But guys like me and Kakarot, we don't need to cheat because we know we'll keep getting stronger. And even from this point on, we'll keep getting stronger. But you seem to have hit your peak because you don't have a will to like get stronger than you currently are, right? And that was very poignant speech from Vegeta. Very cool stuff. And the TLDR is that some people show up and they beat the fuck out of Granola, but they all kind of band together to beat him up at the end. And Granola blames Goku for killing his family, but it was actually Bardock, and Bardock didn't kill his family, Bardock saved his family, so that's really cool. And then at the very end of this arc, Frieza shows up and beats the shit out of both Goku and Vegeta, because he unlocked a new form, Frieza Black, is I think the form it's called. And that's really interesting, and nothing's happened in the Super manga yet, because R.I.P. Toriyama, he passed away before I think he could write a plot for it, so I don't know what's happening with the Super manga, but that's kind of what's going on there. Finally, this might shock some of y'all, Superhero, while being a very cool looking movie, is also a complete fucking ripoff of the Cell arc. So much so that Gohan literally has the same fucking transformation happen to him, fighting against the same fucking enemy. But this time, instead of earning it, it feels very unearned, very just, oh no, my daughter's in trouble, rah. Maybe calling it bad is a little too harsh. I think it's probably, if we're being objective, it's probably more like here. I actually think it's better than both GTRs. We'll probably put it like right here at the middle of mid. This arc is fine. It's fine. It's okay. I don't know, man. The coolest thing about this arc was the special beam cannon Gohan does at the end. And that's because it's a shout out to Piccolo, who we love. I just feel so weak narratively. I don't know, dude. But yeah, here's the tier list. As you can see, I love Dragon Ball, which is why there's so many arcs and good and solid. And why the best and mid arcs have kind of the same number of them. And as you can see, there's not really a ton of bad arcs. So I generally don't think there's many bad arcs in Dragon Ball. Even the non-canon stuff, it's not bad. It's just kind of sloppily written. Is Baby Vegeta arc a little too high? No, I think it's probably fine where it is. No, it's not. We'll move this right up here. And then we'll move, I think we'll move this at the top of solid. Yeah, we'll keep this in good. Okay, so I think this is how the final list breaks down. GT is probably the worst part of the series, but that's just by virtue of the writing being kind of bad. The ideas in GT are all very cool, right? Like the Dragon Balls being abused for so long and finally giving birth to these evil dragons to get revenge, that's killer. An alien race killed by the Saiyans coming back to get revenge, that's awesome. Exploring the stars to collect Dragon Balls, that sounds in theory crazy fun, but in execution, as you can tell, kind of shitty. Super 17 arc. This arc didn't really make a ton of sense, but it was cool because Super Saiyan 4 was in it, and I like 17 as a character, and him being in it twice is kind of neat, so it's fine. And finding Frieza and Cell again is cool. It's okay. Yeah, this is probably the tier list. But that's it for this video. If y'all want any more opinions on any other shows or media or anything I've seen or experienced, leave that down below. Tell me what else we should make tier lists of. I thought about making a serial tier list, but I felt too outside the box of the rest of my content. The rest of my content's, very like anime based, a lot of Dragon Ball stuff, very like TV show based, a lot of Vox Machina stuff, very animated series based. One review so far of an anime series, but I think I'm gonna have a second one up soon. Or maybe it's already up by the time y'all watch this. I'll have to figure out the upload schedule here in a little bit. But yeah, that was the video. If y'all liked, please shoot a like and subscribe down below. Or don't. I'm not your dad. Can't tell you what to do. But if you could, that would be awesome. Go ahead and share the video if you really liked it. And again, once again, leave in the comments down below what else y'all like to see tier lists of. But I'm exhausted. Talking for an hour and a half is a lot more exhausting than I thought it would be. So I'm probably going to go take a nap and finish this movie. I'll see you sweet and sexy ass motherfuckers next time. Peace.